Shout out to Cats Pod.
A good defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Milan is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod. What's up, Podcats? We are back at it again, and I have to start off this show with a correction. I have to make a correction on myself. Last week at the beginning of the show, I said that there are two very important things coming up this month. I listed the Cats Pod as number 2 and the Bobcats as number 1. I made an egregious error. My daughter's birthday is right at the end of this month. So that is the true number 1. Then comes the Bobcats. Then comes the Cats Pod. And this is also how I know my wife does not listen to our podcast. Because I caught myself. I caught myself as soon as I listened back to it, and I was like, God, bad dad move. Bad dad Ben. And, yeah, she doesn't even know about it. So we'll see if she listens to this episode. We'll see what happens.
Well, let's be honest, Ben. When she's older, nothing will come before Bobcat football if you raise her right.
Yeah. We may be doing some Catter Days on the birthday, you know? It's the right time of year.
We just got to get back to the week 0 games.
Yeah, if we get a week 0. Yeah.
Maybe not against Oregon again, but
yeah. I mean, that was her first Catter Day, was Oregon. She was
that
1 day old.
Harsh way to come into this world.
Yeah, her dad was crushing Diet Pepsis in a hospital room. Like, just trying to make something positive come out of the situation. I was like, they're the number 1 team in the country. They're really high up there.
I 100% thought you were going to start this off with a comment about my Gold Rush shirt already on.
I mean,
it's already on, Ben.
I mean, I have been feeling like you this week. I have definitely been getting more and more excited about this season. As I was driving home today, thinking about doing the podcast, I was like, this actually feels like it's here. And I'm just glad to see that we're on the same page. I'm glad to see we have the same energy today.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Me and my brother-in-law, like when we're working at the ranch together, somehow every conversation, I mean, it could be a conversation about cattle, somehow always ends up back on Bobcat football. Every single one, every single time. I mean, everybody's feeling it, man. There's more excitement maybe going into this season than ever before because it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
We get to be the big boys on the block.
Mm-hmm. I'm scrolling through YouTube these days, and I'm seeing a lot of new videos. I'm seeing a lot of new faces, seeing a lot of new names, talking about our Montana State Bobcats, talking about the D word, talking about things coming in pairs, talking about back-to-back, and I just can't believe they waited so long to be on this. Like, we've been talking about it for years. How many years? 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years publicly. We've been talking about it. A lot more than that.
We talked about the podcast a long time before that.
Yeah, we did.
So good.
When we were so good. but we knew. We saw the vision. Vegan was there. We saw them building. We saw it step by step. We saw it brick by brick. And now we're here. We're at the top of the mountain, and we plan on staying there.
Yeah. It's fun. It's just fun. It's just fun.
I've been calling us the New Money Bobcats because as fans collectively, we just don't know how to handle ourselves. Like, we're going to say some embarrassing things. We're going to be very cringy as a collective. Bobcat fandom is going to be very cringy this year, and people are going to tell us to act like we've been there before, and I don't know how to do that because we have not. How do I act like I've been there before when I've never been there before?
I've never been a fan of a championship-winning team in my entire life.
Exactly.
None of my teams have won anything until this. So yeah, and I'm gonna flaunt it. I'm gonna wear this one.
You got to. And I had an embarrassment of riches last year. My football year went about as well as it could possibly go. Bobcats won a national championship. Seahawks won a Super Bowl. Like, I can't ask for any better. 2025 was a great football year for me outside of fantasy football. Fantasy football still terrible. Always will be. But real life football, so good.
And Play Money Molly,
Oh,
baby.
that's it. That's it right there. You had that one locked and loaded. Those quads were popping. You were ready to pop off that couch. I could tell. You were ready
Yeah.
for it.
I got those old man quads now. They were definitely popping.
I'm just proud of you for not grunting when you stood up. Like that's an accomplishment at our age. Like we're getting up there now. Like it's an accomplishment not to grunt when you stand up.
That's exactly right. Anyway, we have gotten off on a weird. I mean, that was like 5 minutes of just going there.
Hey, sometimes you got to. That's what we're feeling like right now.
I gotta say, Ben, if you look at the schedule, and outside of like everybody's gonna say Nevada or Cat Grizz, so don't say either one of those. What game are you looking forward to the most?
Outside of Nevada, outside of the Grizz, sadly, outside of my Northern Colorado Bears, because I'm not really excited about that week either.
Yeah.
I think that the major excitement, and I think this is going to be a point throughout our podcast, I'm in between two teams right now, and I feel like I know which one you're going to take. So I'm going to go with our game against the Idaho Vandals. It is always a crazy game when we play against Idaho, especially in the Kibbe Dome. We are playing on the road this year. It's kind of not exactly like a get-back game because it's very different teams that are playing, but it would be really, really nice to get a win in the Kibbe Dome after the way our last game there ended. Being able to get that taste out of our mouths collectively would be amazing. An October 3rd game for Idaho at Idaho, I'm into that.
After all those times that we beat Idaho here recently, it's pretty easy to forget losing to them in the Kibbe Dome off that was like a missed field goal or something, wasn't it?
It was just before the Money Miles days.
That was such a gut-wrenching loss. So I totally get why you'd pick that one. That's a pretty good pick. That wasn't even on my radar.
What wasn't what you were thinking? I did switch up because I feel like I know what's about to come, but I could be wrong. I often am.
So I might be coming out of left field here because I do think the most challenging game on the schedule, minus Cat Grizz and Nevada, is maybe Northern Arizona coming to town.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen a lot of different people say, it's really hard to go undefeated, blah, blah, blah. The Cats are going to go to Pocatello and lose to Idaho State in their stadium.
Wow. That's a move. That's something to be said.
I think I'm going to circle that one because I will say that's a weird little stadium there. It is fairly hard to play in it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they have some pretty passionate fans. I know they got a really obnoxious Twitter warrior. Can't even remember, Jungle Guy or something like that. I can't remember his name. That's how much attention I pay to Idaho State, but
that's about as much as they deserve right now.
They're going to be a little frisky. So I'm going to circle that one.
I mean, that's something that definitely checks out for us, especially since we've started doing this show. We have always talked very highly of Idaho State. We've liked them. We've thought they were a frisky, hard-working team that could go out there on any given day. And we think they could upset a lot of the teams in the Big Sky Conference, if not all of them, on the right day, because it seems like they've been building a decent little program there. I haven't been keeping up with the roster of Idaho State. But if they still have their receiver-quarterback combo, that could be lethal this year.
And they do.
They still do. Okay. Good.
They graduated, what was it, Shulikov or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the guy's name but he was there last year. He graduated, but they still have that Cook and that other wide receiver that's pretty darn talented. And I mean, I don't know their roster inside and out, so.
Mm-hmm. But lost the main wide receiver, but they still had a decent core behind him, building up, getting ready for that major spot. So, I mean, I'm not mad at that. I definitely thought you were going to take Northern Arizona. I thought that was your game. Every time we've talked, you've been talking about this Northern Arizona game. But I like you giving some respect to the Bengals. I'm not mad about that.
I don't know. When we go through the whole schedule, I'll get further into that one. But for me, I've seen several people say the Cats are going to go to Idaho State and trip up, and so that one's circled on my calendar.
Yeah, that's like a personal vendetta there. In
Yes.
also unimportant off-season news, in the Big Sky Conference mascot bracket that's been going through, the Bobcats just made the championship today, and they beat the Bengals to get there. And it was
Yes.
Benny the Bengal, which kind of hurt me. Like I always hate to see a Benny lose, but if I have to see a Benny lose, I want it to be to the champ.
That's that. Yeah. Poor Benny.
Yeah.
You've heard that before, haven't you?
Benny beatdown going on. Bad luck, Ben. Back at it again.
I do have to say, I did see, since we're on another little tangent here on social media stuff, I don't know if you saw this, but the Montana State Bobcat football fans page is doing kind of a pretty kick-ass giveaway here. Did you see that?
I did. I don't remember the details. I would give them to the people because I remember it being pretty juicy.
Okay, so there's just a few things you have to do, but if you go to their page, it says like this post, follow them on X. Looks like they must have got a new account on X. Share it and tag a couple buddies. It looks like they're doing a fairly good giveaway here on some swag. Be pretty cool. Plus, also be pretty cool to grow that page a little bit, because when it comes to our social media pages, we're severely outnumbered by the Grizzlies social media pages.
Yeah, it's still coming down. Bobcats social media is just a weird thing right now. Right before this game, I was looking for a graphic of the schedule that I eventually found, but it took far too long. And when you Google search Montana State football 2026 schedule, the first three things that came up on Google Images were the Grizzlies. How does that, like, I always knew Google was bad. I always knew AI slop was a problem, but this is the worst version of AI slop. I think Google Images is trying to rage bait me just by searches.
You know, speaking of rage bait, I was in Billings last weekend. Go into Shields, go directly to the Bobcat section. They usually have the best one anywhere. And the Grizzly section is twice as big as the Bobcat section. And I'm telling you, man, I don't understand why we can't get some of these cool things that the Grizzly section has. Like, they're selling T-shirts with Yacht and Gilman on it, but we can't get a T-shirt with Jones and Lamson on it. Or
I mean,
Dowler,
we can. Just not at Shields, you know? I mean, you can find that stuff online, but it does suck that you can't just go into Shields like that.
Exactly.
And
That's
pick
exactly what
something
I'm
up.
saying.
Yeah, it sucks that the major retailers are not giving respect to the Cats. I think the chip is back on my shoulder, Eric. I think it's back. We enjoyed being the champs for all of about 13 minutes. 13 minutes, 26 seconds. That's how long we enjoyed being on top. The chip is back on our shoulder. We still have something to prove. We're still not getting the respect that we deserve. Google Images and Shields, be better.
All I want to do is go into Shields and buy a number 14 or a number 41 shirt with Dowler on the back. That's all I'm asking. It's not that big of an ask.
No. Not that
and
tough.
I'm pretty sure there's a big part of the community that would do the exact same thing. Just saying.
I think they would.
But you can do it for the Grizzlies, and that's the annoying part. Anyway, side rant over here. Should we go through this schedule? It's a pretty entertaining one, I think.
Yeah. We definitely got to dive into this thing. It is the reason for us being here today. Do you want to announce the games or me?
I mean, I can start this one off.
Okay.
August 29th, Montana State at Utah Tech. This one's kind of Jack is going down to this one. They're going down. They're flying to Vegas, doing a night in Vegas, and then it's only an hour and a half to St. George from Vegas. So then they're driving up to, and they got, I think the tickets he said were like $10 or something.
That's pretty
on
good.
The Bobcat side.
That's a solid price.
Did you see the line on this game, Ben?
I did not see a line. You got a line for me on the Utah Tech game?
Pretty sure the Cats are like minus 32.5.
Yeah, that was to be expected. Are these guys the Trailblazers? Is it the UT Trailblazers?
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
I think that sounds right. I may be wrong. All I remember is the last time we played there. Tommy was slinging the rock. It did not go well for Utah Tech, and it felt like the Cats didn't leave second gear the entire game. I feel like this is something we might say over and over throughout this schedule. But the more intriguing matchup is the Cats versus the spread, just like you said.
Yeah.
The more intriguing matchup here is not whether or not the Cats win, but by how much.
I mean, this is a ways out, but I would be very tempted to take that.
Yeah.
I could see a 35-point win pretty easy here.
That's such a huge win, though. And I know I've said that a million times. I'm always afraid of huge lines. I'm always afraid of big spreads. I don't like to bet them. But then all of a sudden, the Cats will start 40 burgering and 50 burgering every single team that they play against. So then I feel like an idiot. But when I see 32 points, I'm like, that's a lot of touchdowns. It's a lot of points to be scored.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is. And you got to win by that much. So, I don't know, man. Utah Tech is going to be bad. I mean, they're just a part. There's, like we talked about it last week, there's a contingent of the Big Sky Conference that is just going to be dreadful. And it looks to me like Utah Tech was picked last or second to last in almost every poll. And you saw what we've done to the bottom. I mean, we have just absolutely obliterated the bottom of the Big Sky Conference for years now.
And also, not to be too hard on Utah Tech, they are just moving into the conference. Like
True.
it's not completely their fault. They're still adjusting to this level of football and still getting ready and getting scholarships, getting scouting together. Like, I wouldn't say that they're not going to be good ever, because it's just too soon to say. It's not like we could call them like one of the perennial teams that's at the bottom of the league like we've seen from some other teams, because we just don't know exactly where they're going to end up when the funding comes in, when they start getting the scholarships right, the scouting right, all that good stuff. But for this year, I don't see it being exciting at all, other than paying attention to the spread.
No, I don't either. I mean, I have a feeling this is going to be a game where maybe a tinker game to a certain extent. I think a lot of different guys are going to get playing time. I think we'll see a lot of, backups and maybe third and fourth stringers get some serious playing time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all I got on that one.
Yeah. It is what it is. They're a newer team to Big Sky Conference play, a very new team to the Big Sky Conference. It's a team that we'll be learning about. August 29th, we'll get to start the season by learning about a new team, meeting some new players, figuring out what Utah Tech's going to be about as they join the conference.
Yeah, 100% agree. The next week is my favorite week. Gold Rush has a special place in my heart. I've never missed one. Used to go to Gold Rush when it was on a Thursday night. Super weird. I cannot wait for Gold Rush. It's one of my favorite weeks of the entire year.
Yeah.
But it's against Butler. I haven't seen a spread on this one. Expect that one to be fairly large.
Yeah. We are back to classic Gold Rushes once again. We had 1 year where we played a solid contender at Gold Rush. It was exciting. Didn't go our way. Overtime game. Great game. If it goes one play different in that game, we are talking about how that's an all-time classic, as opposed to being a disappointment, One or two plays difference.
I remember that game last year. We had actual conversations about which loss was worse, that one or North Dakota State in the championship.
Yeah, that was tough. It was tough.
Uh, I don't know, man. There's just something about Gold Rush, and maybe it's because the stadium is all yellow, and it just looks cool. But man, I love Gold Rush. I always have. I can't wait for that game.
Yeah.
I'm barring anything crazy, I'll be down there for that one.
Yeah. It'll be exciting. As long as they don't bring their basketball team, I think the Cats will win handily. Butler, a lot of history over there. A lot of history in Butler, Indiana, you know. But
Matt Lowe got a good thing going down there in Bozeman, man. Just got a new contract, didn't lose any players to the portal. I think the Bobcats could take them.
It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. I don't even know how relevant Butler basketball is at this point. That was an old man thing to bring up because I'm thinking about like Gordon Hayward days. Like way back, like Gordon Hayward almost making that half-court shot against Duke. That's the Butler that I think of. I don't even know what they've been doing in the last 10 years. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, come on, man. Give the Bobcat men some love.
Yeah.
They got to play at Gonzaga this year. They need some love.
Yeah. And they do have good stuff going. They are a great team. No hate for the basketball team at all.
But yeah, that one's going to be a big spread. But if there's one thing I love about Gold Rush is a good old fashioned blowout. I love stress free. Everybody, if you've listened to me at all, stress free wins are my favorite, and Gold Rush is a good time. And this year would be nice to make up for last year.
Yeah. Gold Rush is always a good one to have a blowout in because a majority of the time for the main demographic of this game, which is college kids, you want the game to be over at halftime. Yeah. And then you want to move on to the game in your heart, which is the partying that's going to go on after. If we're up by 35, you feel much more comfortable staying in those tailgates for another 20, 30 minutes. Maybe miss a little bit of the third quarter, you know. Come back for the fourth and then celebrate the team at the end of the game.
Exactly. Next up, we're going to Nevada. And I feel like this is the one that everybody has circled. It is a true revenge game against the coach that left us.
Yeah. Get a chance to show him what he's missing. Get a chance to show him what he could be doing. And also, get to shake his hand and say thank you, because if he doesn't leave, we don't get our man Brett Vegan. In Vegan
That's
we
true.
trust. We would like to thank you, sir, for leaving the Bobcats, because you brought in and you ushered in the greatest era in Bobcat football ever. So, thank you.
That's super fair. But bottom line is he did leave us.
Yeah.
He did bounce. And we get a revenge game out of it. We get to go down there, play an FBS opponent. FBS games don't matter on the schedule unless you win. And then they do matter.
Yeah.
And I feel like there is a very realistic possibility that we could get one on them here.
Yeah. I would be very interested in the spread on this game. Yeah, I am really curious what the odds makers are going to think of this. I just don't know.
I mean, it would be really hard for me to not see the Bobcats as favorites, slight favorites in this game. I mean, they are the defending champion. They do have the best roster in the FCS without a doubt. Nevada is just, I mean, you want to talk about getting gutted by the portal all the time. Nevada is the poster child. You might as well put their logo right next to transfer portal.
Their logo is just getting sucked into the portal like Rick and Morty.
I mean, it's kind of crazy what their turnover in that program. And Choate's a good coach and everything, but he hasn't had the best luck at Nevada. No, recently.
It does feel like it's been a tough few years. I don't pay super close attention to it. I've had other things to pay attention to these last few years. Believe it or not, there's been better things going on. I don't pay attention to my ex. I don't even think about him. Like, let me tell you, I've just got better things going on. I got rings on the fingers, dog. I don't need to think about my ex. I got a ring.
I think that I don't know, man. It would be extremely hard for me to not think the Bobcats are going to win this game. It might be a dogfight. I mean, we've seen. I mean, thinking back to the New Mexico game, we were pretty big favorites in that game, and it came down to the wire.
Definitely.
But that's what you get with FCS versus FBS. It is going to come down to the wire. There is, I mean, they naturally grab pretty impressive players.
Definitely.
But I don't know. I think the Cats are going to get this one. I feel like they're going to go in pretty hungry to Nevada.
Yeah. When it comes to like classic tropes about FCS versus FBS, everybody talks about the size difference. The size difference is a big point people bring up, especially on the offense and defensive line. What is the strongest thing for the Bobcats? The offensive and defensive line. Not saying anything bad about our other players. That's just, it's built from the inside out, you know? And we have the most complete roster, so there's nothing bad you can really say about any position group. But I feel like they have a better chance of being competitive with FBS level guys because they are a higher caliber of offensive and defensive line. And then we've already seen what the skill players can do.
Yeah. 100% agree. Next up, we got Central Connecticut State University coming to town on September 19th.
We do.
I don't even know we need to spend too much time on this game. Central Connecticut State University has probably never played in an environment like Bobcat Stadium, and that game is going to be a rockin'.
Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. They were a playoff team last year, right?
Yeah, they probably were.
I think they squeaked in. And we all know that there is two separate tiers when it comes to the FCS playoffs. So I'm not putting a bunch of stock into it. I'm just saying mid-tier, not low-tier type of team with Central Connecticut because they do make the playoffs, or at least I feel like I've seen them make the playoffs in the past.
They made the playoffs last year for sure. They lost to Rhode Island 2 years ago in the first round of the playoffs, and then they lost to Rhode Island again in last year in the first round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They had some. I mean, they lost to Duquesne. That's a terrible loss. They lost to Dartmouth. That's not a great one. They lost to Merrimack.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they got gifted a at-large playoff bid, and then they lost 27-19 to Rhode Island, who was marginal.
I mean, I feel like you're being a little tough on Rhodey. Rhodey is one of those teams that has never really made the leap as far as the playoffs, but they are a team that gets a lot of press from our boys at Hack City, who we do very much enjoy their podcast as well.
I mean, here's a good barrier they go to South Dakota first game of the season. Central Connecticut does.
That'll be a good judge of whether or not this is going to be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, we'll watch or we'll see what happens there. If South Dakota smokes them, we're going to do really, really terrible things to them.
South Dakota is a great measuring stick as a team, really against anybody, because South Dakota is right at that borderline of being one of those teams that, like, feasibly South Dakota could make a run and win a national championship in a Cinderella type year. Sure. But also they kind of lay back and they can also fall back to the middle of that Missouri Valley Conference. So I think that they're a good measuring stick nationally. Like if you're an Ivy League and you went in and beat South Dakota, if you're from a conference that's considered lesser, maybe like the Southland Conference, if you beat a team like South Dakota, we're going to give you some respect.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if they go, even if they keep it relatively close with South Dakota, I'd give them maybe a little bit more. But at this point,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't even think they're in the same hemisphere.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Gotta wait to see some stuff. Who knows? They might have made some roster moves in the offseason. It's a brand new year. We don't really know.
Yeah. Next up, we have what I think is a very intriguing game. Northern Arizona coming to Montana State.
That is a very intriguing game. Northern Arizona has been steady with their production, but they have been steadily banging their head against a ceiling that they just cannot quite get past. They've just been hitting that ceiling of like basically hitting the top 4, top 3, basically the top 4. They have not been able to crack the top 3. They've not been able to pass up UC Davis, Montana, or Montana State, but they've always been knocking on the door. The big question for them is this the year that they finally figure it out? Could it be?
That's a great question. I mean, Northern Arizona does their best work at home. When they get their altitude in their home stadium, it always has been that way. Going to Flagstaff is a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Always has been. But coming to Bozeman is, I mean, we saw, to a certain extent, we saw this last year, right?
Definitely.
Idaho State comes into Bozeman, and we beat the absolute brakes off of them when they were a pretty dang good team.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Northern Arizona didn't lose a ton. I mean, they returned a lot of their really good players, but it is so hard to play in Bozeman.
Mm-hmm.
That home field advantage is a monster, and the Cats are that good. I don't care what the spread is on this game. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
It could be 20 points, and I'd still take it.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against the Cats at a home game. They don't come up flat often at home. I can't think of the last time we really came out flat. I wouldn't consider South Dakota State coming out flat because that was a battle through and through. Classic game.
Maybe Yale?
Maybe Yale. I was thinking we played Mercyhurst at home. Or no, was that a home game where we ended up winning it, defensive battle, not a lot of possessions throughout the entire game, didn't really score much. I think that was the last time we were at home, and we didn't feel great about a win. We didn't feel bad because it was a win, but we didn't feel great.
Yeah, Yale was a tough team with a lot of superstar players. But yeah, that's actually a really good example. So, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah. It was a minute ago.
Yeah, I'm fully on board the Cat train. Northern Arizona coming to town. That one, I mean, I remember that writing on the wall once with Sac State coming into town.
Yep.
There was, they're tough, they're gonna be good, blah blah blah, and we beat the brakes off of them. And then last year, Idaho State. I mean, I just remember watching that Idaho State game and the way they treated those wide receivers. Every time they touched the ball, they were getting obliterated by the DBs to the point where I don't think they really want to play football anymore that day. And I have a feeling that that's what we could see in this one.
Yeah, that was kind of a common theme last year for sure, was just the Cats making people pick up their ball, wanting to take it home. I don't want to play anymore. We saw that reaction a lot in fourth quarters last year. I could see this defense doing the same thing because we have a lot of the same core pieces. I know we lost some significant people, and no disrespect for those people that are gone, obviously. But because of the Cat culture that we've seen get built over the last essentially decade now, they give us a reason to believe that these players are just going to continue to get better and better year over year because that's what we've seen out of them consistently. We've seen that we don't necessarily need to add players all the time. We add players in key positions at key times. And then that's where we get at. Feel like we're a little bit off. What's the next game on the schedule?
Montana State going to the Kibby Dome.
The Kibby Dome. We already touched on this one. Obviously, I feel like we haven't actually made a pick in any of these games. It's just assumed by everyone that the Cats are going to win each one of these games that we've talked about so far. We're basically just making an argument for how close the game could be. And the argument in this case is the fact that it is the Kibbe Dome. And there's a lot of history in the Kibbe Dome. It's always tough to win there. It is a very good road test to have in that midway point of the season. Definitely, like I said before, probably the game I'm looking forward to the most outside of the Cat Grizz, obviously. But I would love to see an Idaho Vandal beatdown.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often in the Kibbe Dome. I mean, we beat the brakes off of them lots in Bozeman, but I don't know, man. Idaho is just I don't think that they have what they needed to turn the corner yet.
No.
I mean, they're still kind of recovering from Eck going to New Mexico. I'm not sure they have it. I feel pretty confident in a pretty convincing Bobcat win in this one. And Vegan wants that loss back.
The argument I can make for Idaho right now, preseason, once again, not fully sure of the rosters, but last week when I was looking at Idaho's roster, I believe they still have Joshua Wood, that quarterback. And he was a dynamic player. Now, we've seen over and over teams in the Big Sky Conference that have great quarterbacks, but not a lot to back them up. We can think of a guy like Dante Sacheray, very dynamic player. We love to say his name. We bring him up whenever we can. But Josh Woods reminds me of that type of player just because he's very dynamic, able to score in a lot of different situations. But is there going to be enough around him for them to make a legitimate run? That's the big question.
I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. I don't see them putting up a ton of fight. They were so marginal last year. I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah. But they had some exciting games. Like, they were still a fun team to watch, even though they weren't doing so great towards the end of the year. They were still a fun team to watch, still one of those on the cusp of the playoff teams. I feel like we're going to be talking about them in playoff contention for sure towards the end of the year.
Yeah. The next one we got is, oh gosh, I mean, we have to watch a game on the red field.
I know. I don't want to do it. Can I, Eric, do I have permission to listen to the radio for this one?
I think everybody does.
Yes.
Because, I mean, staring at that stupid thing just gives you a headache.
Yeah. I'm prone to migraines.
I've seen a lot of things about how Eastern Washington is going to turn it around and all that, but I still remember we beat them by 50-some points last year?
It was a lot. I can't remember what the exact quote from the coach was, but it was a very bad coach quote. Not saying he was wrong to say it, but it was one of those things like he basically went there at halftime and was like, let's see if I can get these guys to try in the second half. It was something along those lines. And I mean, that was just the kind of season the Cats were having at that point. Last year's defense, yikes. It did that to a lot of different teams.
Yeah, it did.
And I feel like Eastern Washington made a couple of runs, almost beat the Grizz, right? We're one play away from it at least.
Yep.
And they have opportunities.
Life.
Yeah, there's opportunities out there. They can make things happen.
But I mean, are they 55 or whatever points better now?
Oh no. Not against the Cats. I'm just making an argument for it to be an exciting game in any way, shape, or form. I don't think that they would win. Definitely not that.
Yeah, this is gonna. They're not going to win this game. The Cats are going to win this game. We still don't have any losses on our record at this point.
Don't.
And we're on to October 24th, undefeated.
That would be pretty nice. It'd be a pretty nice feeling.
Weber State coming to town. Don't think we need to spend much time here. Weber State is not going to be good. The Cats are going to kill them.
I've heard a couple little grumblings that Weber State might be better this year, but not enough
One,
for me. Not even enough specifics for me to start to believe that at all. Weber State has been so inconsistent the last few years. I think that's the biggest problem with them.
God, they have been so bad. How many wins did they even have last year?
I don't know. It wasn't
One,
good.
two, three wins.
3 wins last year.
Think
They
something like that.
I I remember Weber State being a great team, but it was a while back. And I remember them being a competitive team for a long time. And now they've kind of moved into this era where it feels like one week they could nearly beat the Grizzlies. And then the next week they're going to nearly lose to Northern Colorado. Like, you just don't know what team you're going to get. The Wildcats are truly wild.
I lied to you. They had 5 wins, but that is not good.
No, not necessarily. You're still under 500.
Yeah, that's not a good season. It's going to be tough for them to compete in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Not. Oh gosh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just gets worse the next week.
Yeah. It just gets worse. I mean, to kind of okay. You can announce the team. We haven't even told them who it is yet.
Cal Poly comes to town. Whoopee!
The Ponies coming
Whoopee!
to town. Cal Poly. I mean, I know what you're saying. I feel you. I understand where you're coming from. Also, we have to remember Cal Poly made some waves last year. They were looking like a team that was going to be competitive.
Yeah.
They won quite a few games. They eventually, if I remember correctly, they started to fold towards the end of the season. But Cal Poly had some solid players that could make a decent impact against good teams. So once again, not saying that the Cats are going to lose because that would be ridiculous, but just saying there's some competition there a little bit.
I'm going to tell you why this game is exciting then.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Greavy is going to ride in. He's going to lead the rodeo team out on his horse. He's going to rope that Cal Poly Mustang, drag that thing out, stretch him out good, and put a big old fat Greavy brand right on that thing.
That's what's going to happen. Through the first half of that, I fully believed that was like a plan that was going to happen this year. I was like, that would be so sick. If we just get Bryce Greavy with like an American flag, just going as fast as he can on a horse to lead off the team, that would be sick. But then I was like, oh, okay, now we're just playing. I get it. Rope the horse. I don't know if we should brand it, as that feels a little bit extreme. I would say we give it 2 wraps and a hooey. We call it a day.
How about he takes that flag after he ropes it and plunges it directly into the heart of the Mustang?
See, now you're getting more violent. Like, where is the violence coming from, Mr. Lawver? Like, why are you so mad at Cal Poly? I understand your anger for some other teams.
I am making excitement, Ben. I am making excitement here.
You seem like you have some repressed rage that you're dealing with. I don't know if this is excitement.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, man.
If we have to make excitement during the team entrance, I think that there's other problems in the game.
Next up, we are going to Idaho State. We touched on this one a little bit. Idaho State's going to be good. Kind of a crappy place to play. Hard to play there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, once again, we beat the tar out of these guys last year real bad, to the point where it was obvious they didn't even want to play football anymore. Like, it's just really hard to see a scenario where you stub your toe. I get it is really, really hard to go undefeated. I mean, the odds are so crazy bad that it's just not likely though. No. I don't see it. I mean, you're getting later into the season. You've already had your bye. It's not like you're coming off a bye on that one.
Yep.
It's really hard for me to see it. The Cats, we've seen his coaching style. They're going to be humming. They don't have too much trouble overcoming like fairly major adversity. Mm-hmm. Like, we've had major injuries and still been able to overcome that. I am having a hard time finding a storyline that says that Montana State doesn't win by a fairly good chunk.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I have to back us up for a second because I just had one realization. I don't know why this just popped up to me, but I'm looking at that date underneath Cal Poly. It's a Halloween home game, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna be there.
How do you not go to that game? How ridiculous will that game be? Do you think there'll be a lot of costumes there? Do you think people are showing up? Like,
Well, I
is
know
everybody going to just be dressed as a
myself,
football player?
just for myself, we're all going, and the kids will be at the game, and they will be in costumes because we're going trick or treating on Main Street, then going to the game.
Okay. But what will Mr. Eric Lauver be dressed as? That's what the people want to know.
According to my daughter, this Toy Story theme we have going, I will be Forky.
You're for. I definitely thought you were going to say you were going to be Woody. I was like, it makes sense. This man's got a lot of cowboy hats, a lot of cowboy boots. He can put together the fit real quick. Good to go. He just has to wear the right colors. All of a sudden, he's Woody. Now you're coming in. I got to be Forky. Like, that is so disrespectful. Shout out to my goddaughter for just throwing shade whenever she can. Hey, Dad, you're Forky. Enjoy that.
Yeah. Not looking forward to dressing up as Forky, but when a 3-year-old tells you you're going to do something, chances are you're probably going to do it. So
How do you even dress up like Forky? That's the real question. Is like, do you just make a large plastic fork to put over yourself, a little spork, with your face in the middle?
it's a good thing my wife is a lot better than me because I had no idea, and she probably does.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say one thing. We are both sturdy men. We're very sturdy. Okay. Forky is not very sturdy. So I don't know how the fit would work out. You know.
I don't have the build of a fork. Let's be honest.
No. I've got the build of like a soup ladle. That's what I got going on right now. So, Forky, I'm not pulling that off. I can tell you that.
Oh, Benny 2 Chains, the spatula.
Oh, Benny 2 Scoops, you know? Okay, sorry to derail us. I don't know why it took so long for me to realize that was going to be a Halloween game. That is a must. That is a must go-to game now. That is a must go-to game, and I don't know. I gotta talk the wife into it. We gotta figure it out. Yeah,
I don't want to know. It is going to be outrageous because I feel like everyone's in the same boat. That is. I mean, when was the last time we had a Catterday in Bozeman on Halloween? Maybe I've never paid attention to. Maybe it's happened lots. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity. It seems like it would be a lot of fun.
How many champ costumes do you think you're going to see?
There'll be a few champs. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of people dressed up as football players. Boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Maybe I go as a coach. Maybe you go historic for this one. I feel like a historic uniform would be good. Like I find some old picture of Sonny Holland and I dress up as Sonny Holland for Halloween.
Or you could go as Grizzly Bear.
That's just asking for it, dude. I mean, that's like the least scary thing you could dress up as.
I do have violence on my mind right now. I don't know why.
But a large teddy bear costume, I feel like that would hit.
Back to the schedule. So we have Idaho State following Halloween, and then Ben, take this Northern Colorado game away from me. Please, for the love of God, find something.
Northern Colorado, you get to play at home where we've heard it's stinky. From a reliable source, we have heard that you have a stinky stadium, and I say that with a lot of love in my heart. I am also a stinky person, I understand. I get where you're coming from, Northern Colorado. But you showed some teeth last year. Northern Colorado. You showed that you have the ability to do it. You showed you have the ability to bear down. You could arguably make a run for the best bear in the Big Sky Conference. Let's see what you decide to do. You're not going to do it on November 14th, but rooting for you every other day of the year.
I like that. That's a great way to describe that game.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Northern Colorado in stinky Greeley, Colorado.
Shout out Ty McCullough for giving us that little gem. Those are the things you only glean from like the real players on the field is stinky.
That was such an underrated thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's like monster, feedlots, processing plants, all that kind of stuff in Greeley. Never even crossed my mind that it'd be that stinky.
Yeah. I've never been there. I don't know if anybody we know has ever been to that stadium. That's not generally a game that you choose to travel for.
Yeah.
Especially a week before the Brawl of the Wild. I would imagine this might be a little light on Bobcat fans. The Bobcat fans do always travel well. I'm not saying there's going to be none of them, but I'm saying that the team might have to make some of its own juice against Northern Colorado.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, they're going to get beat bad. It's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can say that can make me think that this is going to be anything but a stress-free win. Northern Colorado got gutted once again. They lost everyone who was any good on that team to the transfer portal. What was his name? Carver Cheeks?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
He gone.
Sorry, I'm being immature today. Mr. Cheeks is gone.
He gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week, we have the Brawl of the Wild.
Always the most exciting game on the schedule.
Dude, I don't care what any Grizzly fan says.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot rebuild your team out of the transfer portal every single year. You cannot lose every single player that started on the offensive line and defensive line and still and turn around and be the number 2 team in the country. It just doesn't work that way. The offensive line is the most important thing on a football team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a football player. I'm not a football coach. But when you have a good offensive line, things seem to go really well for you, and they are patchworking everything together to replace every single player that left and graduated off that team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like a good recipe to lose your entire team and then walk into Bozeman against a team that lost nothing.
Yes. This is going to be a classic year where the Grizzlies are going to build throughout the year. They're going to start looking dangerous. They're going to have a few weeks where they look not so dangerous, but they're going to have a few weeks where they look very, very dangerous. And I can see that building up throughout the year. I can see the confidence building back up in the Grizzly fans throughout this season. They're going to stack up win after win. They're going to start getting some of that confidence back, start getting some of that swagger back, and they are going to forget where they belong. And they belong at the bottom of a Bobcat boot right now. That's just what the era is. You guys had your time in the sun. It was very enjoyable for you. Shout out to Bobby Kennedy. But you're still the second best Bobby. You are not the original Bobby. You are not our favorite. We will see if you hand us as many Cat Grizz wins as Bobby Houck, but that is to be determined.
Yeah. I don't know. All I want for this game is to sit up in my chair and watch an absolute beat down of the Grizzlies. I don't care how many points we win. Run that score up. I don't care. It just doesn't matter.
This is
beat the tar out of the Grizzlies.
This is a new money Bobcats moment because I just said they're at the bottom of the boot. Like, you're asking for a beatdown. We're forgetting what these Grizzlies have been and how they've tortured us over the years. It is crazy how much healing you can do in just a year. I used to have the
That's
Grizz
fair.
in my head the entire time. Now I feel like the Grizz are going to be building up their hopes the entire season, ultimately to have their hopes come crashing down. I wonder if you understand what that feeling's like, Eric. I know I do.
I mean, wouldn't it be cool to beat them 4 times in 3 years?
That would be pretty sick. It would be pretty nice.
That would be.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
We'll see.
And then we make a run all the way through the playoffs and win the national championship. No small task. Not asking for much here.
Mm-hmm. We got the Super. I think the Super Bowl had a big effect on our thoughts around the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Because it was really thought, and not by us, obviously, but there was a lot of talk going on about the Grizz going in there and not losing to the Bobcats twice. We knew it was a home game. We knew that was going to be a huge advantage for us. We saw it play out on the field. The Bobcats ended up running away with it towards the end of the game, as they do. Defensive players stepped up, like our aforementioned Bryce Grebe. It just feels like this Bobcat trajectory is unstoppable by anybody in the Big Sky Conference. I think our major competition is going to be in the Missouri Valley. Now, I'm not saying that they're completely impervious. I'm not saying that this is a perfect team that's going to just skate through 12-0 and it's going to be nothing. But I think the meat and potatoes of the competition are not in the Big Sky Conference right now.
I agree. I feel like the biggest challenger to the Bobcats right now is South Dakota State. They have the quarterback, they have the wide receivers, they have the running back. That's a good football team over there in South Dakota. I mean, is the most exciting thing this season wondering whether the Cats can go undefeated?
I think it. I hate to make that the talking point, but you are right. Like it's not something I love to focus on because we've seen that. You know, we've gone undefeated through the regular season. Regular season undefeated doesn't matter that much to me, if I'm being real honest. Because if we look at Tommy's last year, we went undefeated all the way through until the national championship. We lost one game that year, and it still hurt. It still sucked. And it's not a good feeling, even if you just lose that one game. So I don't care if they drop 2 or 3 games during this season. If we pick up back-to-back national championships, you guys can do whatever you want during the regular season.
I guess that's why the 1-0 mentality is a big deal.
Yeah.
The previous week doesn't matter. Just win the next game.
Yeah. Forget about it. Win the game. Move on. It's always good to go with.
It's no matter how you slice it, this season's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of games on the schedule that have some juice to them. You have Nevada, you have Northern Arizona, you have Idaho State, and you have the Grizzlies all in one season. That's 4 pretty good games. First time we haven't played UC Davis in God knows how long.
Feels like it's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Idaho, so 5. Then we got 5 games with pretty good juice to them.
Yeah.
And
that Central Connecticut game could turn into a juicy game if we see them play good towards the beginning of the season. Not saying it's going to, but it's a possibility.
They were a playoff team last year. 2 years in a row. They were a playoff team. So, yeah, it's there's a lot of juice to it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Gold Rush. We're so close, Ben.
Mm-hmm. We're just you can almost smell it.
Smell it.
You can almost. I'm catching a whiff, and I've got a terrible sense of smell, so it might be closer than we think. But we are almost there. The season is upon us. That is your 2026 schedule. Eric, do you have anything else to let the people know before we let them go?
Keep enjoying it, Bobcat fans. Keep enjoying it.
Keep riding high. Keep listening to the show. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars wherever you are listening to this. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you are listening to your podcast, unless it is Amazon Music, because I don't know anybody who has Amazon Music. Once I meet somebody with Amazon Music, we'll put the podcast there. But enjoy your time in the sun. The season is coming, and we are excited about more and more success. And we will see you guys next week as we get ready for the first Catterday of the year.
Adios.